knives through his palms.
Disconnected.
That's brutal. Anyway, moving on. Like many places on Nexus, Algarok is the location of an ancient Elden ruins, and the Western Mountains are no exception. Here, the Exile Academy of Science has been excavating an ancient Elden facility, an impressive testament to the technological advancement of the mysterious Elden, who disappeared from the planet long ago. This excavation has also uncovered a massive top-secret relic never before encountered on Nexus, motivating the XAS scientists to try and access encrypted Elden data archives located nearby. And some cool little dude with shades hanging out by a, fire pit. I don't know why, but it looks like the people right behind him are minuscule, even though they don't seem that far away. Well, no questions asked then. Unfortunately, the XAS archaeologists triggered the site's security protocols, unleashing an army of Elden security bots that poured out and began attacking the camp. Sounds like the intro vid. Besieged by the brutally efficient killing machines, the scientists were trying desperately to survive while attempting to shut down the security systems. Algarok is the kind of place where someone with quick steel and a strong backbone might find fortune and glory if they can avoid getting killed in the process. And that's it for now, friends. We'll be introducing you to even more interesting inhabitants, curious creatures, and terrible trouble you'll meet in Algarok over the coming weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for more. In the meantime, enjoy, won't you? Right, I'm sorry if that was painful. I'm doing my best here. Introduction.
No, it's all good, man.
Alright, sounds good. Introduction to Galeris. Is that how it's pronounced? Blah. I'm giving you a motherfucking link, Blank. Alright, awesome. Too painful listening to me, so we've got blank space taken over. Which
Microphone
picture facts?
activated.
The one where you said about small people.
Huh, let me check. I was already moving on to the next one here, Algarok. Moving down to the last picture.
So you're just reading this lore crap out?
Yeah, we're just reading through it. It's easy to remember, too, if you read it out.
No,
I'll be
that's
right
an
back.
Orin. I think that's a male Orin. You can see it as a tail.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna read this. Decided to help out my homie here. Even though, as everybody knows, I really don't care about lore. But, support your buddies. Alright, here we go.
Good guy, Blank.
Introduction to Galaris. Theod under siege, war has descended upon the windswept plains of Galaris, where the Dominion's Crimson Legion has launched surprise attacks against exile settlements. Despite their best efforts, the free companies of Nexus have been driven back into the ancient ruins of Theod, where exile refugees seek protection within a long-abandoned city, as FCON forces scramble to regroup, pounded by constant artillery fire and aerial attacks. The Dominion cuts off vital supply lines, leaving those behind Theod's walls hungry and desperate. Meanwhile, the townfolks of nearby Tempest Refuge face a siege of their own behind hastily constructed barricades. Is that what we're supposed to see here, I guess? All that stand between them and a detachment of homicidal sappers. No news has been heard from the beleaguered exile settlement since our last distress call. And with FCON trapped defending Theod, things look grim for Tempest Refuge. Free Company Commander Durek Stonebreaker has sent a group of exile heroes to help turn the tides of war.
User joined.
Get some time.
User left your channel.
Yeah, that was pleasant.
Alright. Sergeant Kara's counter-assault. To the north of Tempest Refuge lies the Crimson Legion's base of operations, where the ruthless Colonel Audex leads a bloody Dominion campaign against the exiles of Galaris. Within the base is a prison where Dominion intelligence agents subject exile prisoners to dastardly experiments. Nearby, the Crimson Fuel Depot keeps Dominion war vessels fueled and armed for a sustained campaign of devastation against the exiles. To win the war in Galaris, exile heroes must help destabilize the Crimson Legion chain of command and destroy the Dominion stronghold. To pave the way for a counterstrike, Commander Durek deploys his trusty second-in-command Sergeant Kara. Accompanied by exile heroes and a detachment of hard-charging destroyers, Sergeant Kara must find a way to sabotage Crimson Legion operations and prepare for the oncoming assault. Only when the Dominion has been confused and weakened can the final battle for Gallerus begin. The Mysteries of Gale Canyon. Down in Gale Canyon, violent whirlwinds meander about, sending hapless travelers spinning into the air, maiming some killing others. Here the Exile Academy of Sciences set up a shop at Camp Dust Devil to study the nearby Elden ruins, including the mysterious Elden structure known as the Focus of Air. News of this discovery draws famed exile xenotologist Belle Walker to Gale Canyon, but the Dark Spur cartel has taken over the XAS dig site, preventing her or any other scientist from continuing their research. Further down in the narrows of Veiled Canyon, a smaller group of XAS scientists have established a forward camp, but a number of key expedition members have disappeared while working in the field. The isolated scientists have been unnerved by the sound of war drums emanating from Thundercall Village, a settlement of native humanoids known as the Pal. The XAS are unsure of what to make of these strange neighbors. Who are the Pal? What secrets do they keep? And are they behind the disappearances? Even the XAS may need some help with this one. Death from above. A distress call from Skywatch summons all nearby exile heroes to come to the defenses of the beleaguered FCON outpost. War Raiders, the remnant of Dominion forces in Gallerus, have crossed Gale Canyon and begun attacking the outlying farms. The last remaining farmers must be evacuated and the raiders hunted down, a task Commander Durek Stonebreaker has come to personally oversee. But the situation grows volatile when the remaining Dominion forces choose to hide out in the sacred temple of the savage winged barbarians known as the Falcon. Consumed by vengeance, the Granite Commander will do anything to destroy the Dominion, even if it means starting another war.
Awesome. That's pretty interesting.
Well read.
Some of that architecture there looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like everything's just made of bones and stuff. All right, perfect. We're gonna move on to the next article here in a moment. We're just gonna take a quick
What's up, dude?
2-minute transition period. I'll be right back.
Somebody with a creed.
Anyone know, do they have like
I can't
That's
see your
too bad.
name, Mr. Green Person.
on a sign there on the second picture? I think, like, for the street signs or whatever. Are they
Kolbasi.
gonna have
Some questions. What questions could I answer for you?
their own like
User joined your channel.
alphabet for that kind?
Alrighty. Fax, I do
So-
believe you're either lagging out or I am having trouble understanding your question.
How long have I been playing?
Did anybody else hear him alright?
Been
or is it
playing
just me?
games for.
I couldn't make out what he was saying. Something about street signs.
I've been playing games for.
Alright, Fax, if
15
you're
years
having a little
now?
bit of lag, feel free to type in chat. I'll take the time to read it off for you and make sure to answer your question.
More beta key. More beta keys.
User entered your channel.
Welcome, Fax1. I didn't know you had a twin. Alrighty, let's see here. Pulling up the thread once again.
User in your channel timed out.
Alright, any questions regarding this one, or can we go ahead and move on? Are we good?
Yep.
Alright, cool. Would anybody like to volunteer to read this, or should it go back to me? 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Next, we've got A Look into Dehradun.
User joined your channel.
Welcome. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and link the current article. That way, you guys all know which one we're on.
You're
There
hitting
you go.
Nexus. They're doing some sort of lore
Give a
thing
second
right
or two
now.
to open that up. So we have just finished Introduction into Algarok and Introduction to Gallerus, and we'll start with A Look into Dehradun. Inhabited by hostile natives and dangerous alien organisms, Dehradun is a savage territory that has been claimed by the Dominion. With sweeping savannas, rugged mountains, and exotic floating trees, Dehradun is both beautiful and deadly. The perfect place for the galactic adventurers seeking new challenges on planet Nexus. Drawn into its untamed vistas, and vicious wildlife, the ferocious Draken of the Bloodfire clan have established a village on the eastern coast of Dehradun. In order to test the mettle of his people, the battle-hardened clan lord Makaza has called the Great Hunt, an ancient dragon tradition that culminates in the primal ritual known as the Blood Feast. The Great Hunt is open to anyone who wishes to prove themselves to the clan, and adventurers from across Nexus have come here to face off against some of the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy. That actually leaves me with a question. If an exile comes up saying he wants to participate, do they put aside their differences to play, or to let them do the Great Hunt? Little lore question there. Moving on. Making sure I'm on the right one here. To offer an even greater challenge to his mightiest hunters, Clan Lord Makaza is transported in wondrous and fearsome creatures from across Nexus, including the terrible cybernetic monstrosity known as Metal Maw. A deadly product of Elden augmentation technology, Metal Maw is being held in a massive cage, but it is only a matter of time before the raging beast breaks free of its prison. There's a little video there. It's 5 minutes long, so we're going to go ahead and skip over it, but, you know, if you do want to watch it...
I'm playing it on the stream.
Wonderful. To the north of Bloodfire Village, the terrain gets more rugged and mountainous. There we go. Inhabiting the sheer cliffs that overlook the savannah is the blood-taloned brood of the barbaric Falkren, a wild winged race indigenous to the planet Nexus. Having lived in Dehradun for thousands of years, the aggressive Falkren warriors are infuriated by the Dominion's encroachment of their territory, and a conflict between the two looms dangerously on the horizon. At the southern end of Dehradun, there is a bubbling tar pit surrounded by the massive skeleton remains of long-dead creatures. Rumors have surfaced that an ancient Elden exolab is located somewhere nearby, attracting a number of curious scientists and daring explorers who hope to find its location. Just above the tar pit is a sacred burial ground of the clan Bloodfire, where the remains of fallen Draken warriors are interred. Normally, these grounds are quiet, but lately guards have reported seeing strange figures creeping around the graves at night, whispering strange and ominous incantations. Allies. We've got a cool picture there of what looks to be like a dude on a throne. You can only assume that's let's see here.
Clan Lord Makaza.
Clan Lord, yeah. I was about to say Makalza, and I was like, that's not right. Let's double check, and it was taking too long. I was like, oh gosh, pressure. But yeah, it looks like he's surrounded by a couple ladies in some rather promiscuous positions. Anyway, moving on. Clan Lord Makaza. I am a dum-dum. I could have just moved on and seen it right there. Clan Lord Makaza is the leader of the Bloodfire clan. Once a decorated soldier of the Dominion Legions, Makaza now rules over his people as they face the dangers of Dehradun. Out of respect for the ancient traditions of his homeworld, Makaza has recently called for a great hunt, and has commanded his utmost skilled huntresses to reward those who fight with bravery and skill. There we go, half-naked Draken lady with a stick. And what looks to be like some kind of creature on the ground behind her. Not the skinned ones, but off to the right there. Like a derpy rabbit.
A derpy rabbit.
Look at that. Anyway, moving on. Huntress Kazia. Excuse me if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Kazia is the most deadly huntress in Clan Bloodfire. As Clan Lord Makaza has just recently called a great hunt, Kazia has been tasked with ensuring that all participants are worthy. A brash and fearless warrior, Kazia revels in the thrill of the hunt, and often finds herself fighting alongside those who've accepted the challenge of the ancient Draken ritual. Moving down, Agent Lex, classy name. As part of the Imperial Corps of Intelligence, ICI, Agent Lex has been sent to Dehradun to seek out traitors and spies. Known far and wide for his deadliness, Lex was carefully engineered by the central axis of the ICI to serve as her eyes and ears in the field. Having recently captured an exile spy on the savannah, Lex is looking for any information that will shed light on what the spy and his companions are doing here. So I'm assuming that's Agent Lex there, and what looks to be two guards in front of a little picket fence. Alrighty. God, that moon is way too close to the planet. It'll make me uncomfortable. Lex, would you like to take over the reading? Is that what you're saying me for? Or you're just saying me because you have the same name? That's it. Alright, moving on. Enemies. So we just talked about allies. Next is enemies. Falkren. The Falkren are a fierce race of powerful avian humanoids that dwell in the mountains and cliffs of planet Nexus. Primitive, proud, and barbaric, the Falkren are highly territorial and will attack anything that wanders too close to their perches. Their origins are shrouded in mystery, but they appear to be native to Nexus. Next, we've got... What in the world are these things? Little voodoo monsters. Moody's! Moody's are a species of primitive sentience found only on planet Nexus. Their culture is dedicated to the creation and wearing of large decorative masks which appear to represent iconic emotional states. Moody's shamans are capable of simple but powerful necromancy, a practice that is considered blasphemous to the sacred blood covenants of Draken religion. Alright, dedicate your whole life to making a mask. I guess these are like the Nexian cosplayers. Next, we've got giant fishy metal thingy, Metal Maw. The creature known as Metal Maw is a powerful cybernetic monstrosity, a fusion of advanced biological engineering and Elden augmentation technology. Having been captured by Dominion hunters, the beast is now brought to Daradun to serve as the ultimate challenge in the Great Hunt. Alright, that was actually pretty cool. Any comments on anything? Because those little moody things are kind of intriguing.
Who's gonna get server first on Metal Mom?
Ah, that's not even a question.
Dominion, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he like a low-level boss?
Well, we seem to see him in some of
low-level world
the...
boss.
Yeah, we seem to see him in some of the, like the videos that they show us at different events, so I can only assume he's not that high of a level.
Right,
In
well
the-
he was in like the starter area, I think, right?
Yeah, in one of the intro videos, they announce him as like a public group world boss, basically. Think of it as little 16-man guy.
Oh, he's Hogger. Okay.
Yeah, he's nothing you're gonna just run up and single-man quest. I think one of the first walkthroughs you can look at it and it like 3 or 4 hits the guy. So
Alrighty. Interesting. Blah, moving on. But yeah, I would like to know, though, it did say anyone can participate in the Great Hunt, so it's like, do they kind of, like I said earlier, put their differences aside and let both Dominion and Exile participate in the Great Hunt? Add more, if you're listening.
That would be interesting, for sure. But I don't see it.
It would seem a little far-fetched, but you never know, right? It's
Yeah.
all about interpretation. All right, next we've got the Crimson Isle. Would anyone like to volunteer? Oh, so this is interesting. It's set up in like 3 different tabs. Papa, would you like to volunteer to read? If you had zones where PvP were disabled, but PvE was pushed. Weird way. Fuzzies everywhere. No, I has hamburgers. Okay, anyway, irrelevant. Moving on, we've got Crimson Isle. I guess I'll go ahead and read it. Located off the coast of Daradun, Crimson Isle has been neither explored nor colonized by the Dominion because of its remote location, rocky terrain, and deadly wildlife. But recent long-range scans from the Ark ship Destiny have revealed some tantalizing details that may soon require further investigation. The southwest region of the isle is a scattering of isolated rocky beaches. Most of these are infested by the vicious Scrab, a native organism known for its deadly sting and nasty disposition. Scrab make their nests just beneath the surface, and are infamous for bursting from the sand and attacking unsuspecting victims. In fact, the sheer abundance of these nests was the primary reason the Dominion's initial exploration team deemed the region uninhabitable.
User joined your channel.
Oh, excuse me, I did forget to link the, There you go. For all those of you just joining us, I went ahead and I'll go ahead and link it again. We're currently talking about the Crimson Isle, and about how there's scary things that jump out of the ground and try to eat you. All right. Moving on, after looking at these scorpion-looking creatures, which I can only assume are the Scrab. Further inland, reconnaissance scans have discovered an unidentified settlement. Although clear visuals of the region are difficult to acquire due to frequent dust storms, imagery seems to show a ramshackle collection of primitively constructed dwellings inhabited by a group of unclassified humanoids. Biophase scans have revealed the existence of a number of mass graves, with skeletal remains displaying unnatural mutation. Graves. Collegium analysts remains displaying unnatural mutations. Collegium analysts displaying unnatural mutations. Have positive this mysterious group is indigenous to Nexus, but further data about them is currently unavailable. So I guess what it's saying there is Collegium have confirmed it. Excuse me. Big mass graves with skeletal remains displaying unnatural mutation. Sounds pretty messed up. In the northwest corner of the island, readings seem to indicate energy signatures that are consistent with Elden technology, although it has been difficult to determine its exact nature. Unfortunately, recent attempts to scan this region at higher resolutions have been unsuccessful due to anomalous signal interference. In light of these strange new developments, the Dominion military plans the deployment of a covert strike team to investigate. Depending on what they discover, more direct and decisive action may be required. What do you think that could mean?
User joined your channel.
Energies that are consistent with Elden technology. Something could be hidden underground.
So yeah, and something's blocking the scan.
What could it possibly be? To be discovered. Anyway, moving on. That was the Crimson Isle. So we're done now with the locations, apparently. Sandworms. It's Tremors all over again. We'll be talking about Storm Talon's Lair next. It's the first dungeon that's been presented. For those of you who haven't seen yet, they during the Rezzed presentation, they actually showed some of the gameplay from Storm Talon's Lair. And you actually got to see Storm Talon the dragon, or the giant lizard bird, whatever you want to call it. It was pretty cool.
Nexus.
Oh, I skipped the 2 other tabs. Forgive me.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, when I do something dumb like that, call out. So that was the overview of the Crimson Isle. Next, we're talking about the enemies. Collegium, scientific report. Unidentified humanoid population CI-136. These weapons are awesome. Yeah, 3 clawed whatever. Those are pretty cool claws. Anyway, the data concerning the unidentified humans, designated species C-136, inhabiting Crimson Isle, is mostly inconclusive, although we have determined that with the utmost certainty that they are native to the planet Nexus. Biophase scans do indicate an alarming level of biological mutation throughout the population, well outside of the expected margins even for a small, isolated community. High levels of distortion in our visual imagery make it difficult to be precise, but anthropological models based on the limited cultural data seem to indicate that these humanoids are primitive, superstitious, and barbaric. Everything seems to be dangerous or barbaric on this planet. Cannibalism is a distinct possibility. All teams that approach this population should do so with the utmost caution. So yeah, that picture's pretty cool. We've got what looks like space bacon cooking on a fire. And then some, I don't even know how to describe him. Some gray dude with funky hair and big purple blue claws. It's pretty cool.
And his right shoulder, he's got stitches.
He does have stitches. And some kind of like life tube is what it looks like.
Fourth exile race.
Interesting. It could be. I mean,
That's what I was thinking too.
But why would they be part of the indigenous creatures of Nexus? Well, I guess that could always
Why
work.
not?
They kind of landed and like made friends. Huh.
In the video, she said she doesn't want to talk about that.
It's very true. Maybe they don't get along with the humans. Alrighty. That could actually be a lot like the troll and orc faction in WoW, where they kind of like work together, but they don't really like each other. Anyway, Dominion High Command. Seems to be a letter to the Dominion High Command. ICI Military Operations Branch, Security Clearance A-8+. General Warbringer, we have completed our analysis of the anomalous signal interference over the Crimson Isle. We are now 94% certain that this is not a natural occurrence. The level of sophistication required to conceal an anomaly of that size indicates FCON military technicians. 85% probability. Black Hood's operatives, 93% probability, or both, 91% probability. The exiles are unquestionably trying to hide something. ICI recommends that a strike team be sent to infiltrate the island and determine exactly what the enemy is doing there. Well, it's funny that they mentioned that the exile are trying to hide something right after we just speculated that being the fourth race. Huh.
If you see that guy, he's holding a sword, dude, so that's a different class.
I actually
And
never
that's
really
the-
looked into it this deep, and that's pretty cool.
That's the same race, too. You can tell by the shoulders.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna continue here in just a moment. I'm just looking at these pictures.
Giant ox.
Interesting. That is actually the same class, because you can see the blue tubes around the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a warrior there, and the first one is a stalker.
Yeah. Huh. I'm actually good. Oh, just for the record, it's kind of cool that we're actually talking about lore questions right now, because I do believe Mog Nation is compiling a list of questions for their interview tomorrow. Or at least the deadline is tomorrow. So if you have any questions at all, type them in chat, and I'll go ahead and gather them up. Leave your name by it, and I'll go ahead and forward it to Mog Nation. All right, let's keep going here. Allies. Something a little bit more familiar. We've got a Draken here. Looks to be holding
The
what
coolest shit
seems
ever.
like a chainsaw.
Saw blades.
That's-
Chainsaw blades.
That would be pretty sick. Oh my god. Anyway, ICI Directive 04. I'm not even going to read that off. Crimson Isle Strike Team. Phaedra, Central Axis ICI. Please inform your contacts that there is no... Please inform your contacts that there is to be no further discussion about the strike team being sent to investigate the anomalies on the Crimson Isle. As of this morning, the Emperor has deemed this mission our highest priority, and mission parameters will only be available to those with A7 security clearance or higher. Data concerning personnel is also extremely classified. Anyone caught leaking information will be considered a traitor to the Empire and punished to the full extent of the law. That last line right there should apply to everyone who's ever leaked in beta.
So those are the NPCs.
It seems like that could either be a player or an NPC.
There's the gun class in the back there too.
I do not see that. Oh yeah, right there. Some guy holding what it looks like a rifle, and he's looking down his iron sights. But
Is that a Macari
looks like-
or something?
that looks like a Granok.
Yeah.
That's
Why
That's
would
why
there
I think
be a
it's
Draken and a
NPCs.
Granok?
This is a joke?
Is it? Yeah, that we're being trolled. Haha. This is just, let's put stuff in a picture and mess with them so they speculate for hours. No, but really, that's kind of interesting. I never noticed that. There's a Granok right behind a Draken, and they don't seem to be looking at each other, so they're not too concerned about one another's presence.
well, the only thing is, like, if they're NPCs, then it's kind of weird, because that means if that last picture of the other guy was an NPC, that means they're using the actual races for NPCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if it's like a faction like the Argent Dawn where they don't care what race you are?
That would be pretty interesting. Alrighty, let's see here. I think I just got a quick message here. Moving on. So I'm pretty sure that's it for the Crimson Isle. Catch me if I'm skipping something.
That was everything.
Perfect. Does someone actually mind writing down that question that I just asked about the Granok and Draken being located in the same area and not being concerned? Is there possibly a third faction where it's almost like they're are just like those teen rebels from both sides that just kind of group together and were like, F that? Who knows? How do I tie my own shoes? That's exactly the question I'm asking, Papa. Dungeons. Storm Talon's Lair. Alrighty. Would anyone like to take over for me just for this one, or shall I continue?
Sure.
Alright, thank you.
Oh.
User left your channel. User joined your
Storm
channel.
Talon's lair. In the heart
User
of
left your
Gallerus,
channel.
at the southern end of the mysterious Gale Canyon, lies an ancient cave known as Storm Talon's Lair. Watched over by a tribe of mysterious Thundercall Pel, an enigmatic race that is native to Nexus, the cave has always been shrouded in mystery. I read that correctly. But recently, the Exile Academy of Science has detected a strange energy source emanating from the depths of this cavern and sent in a team of researchers to investigate. Unfortunately, the members of this team have not yet returned, but their scattered reports have shed light on the strange ritual taking place in the shadowy depths of Storm Talon's lair. Mysteries of the Pel. Although the XAS has limited information about the Pel, it is obvious that they have been on Nexus for thousands of years. Scientific reports indicate that they have a primitive culture based on the worship of elemental powers, with tribal social structures based upon a strict religious hierarchy. Data from linguistic analysis has revealed multiple references to what the Pel call the Masters, an undefined pantheon of deities that play a significant role in their beliefs and religious rituals. Strangely, the Pel seem to display an innate knowledge of Elden technology and are often observed using it with a skill that belies their otherwise primitive culture. XAS anthropologists have theorized that the Pel once served the Elden themselves, but more data will need to be collected before such claims can be confirmed. Inside Storm Talon's lair. Inside the cave, the Pel are engaging in a time-wrought tradition passed down from their ancestors, using an ancient Elden incubator to transform one of their acolytes into a monstrosity known as Storm Talon. Having chosen a worthy candidate for the ceremony, which means anybody, the Thundercall High Priest is making preparations for the imminent birth of their god, using a strange mix of magic and technology that the Pel have developed over thousands of years on the planet Nexus. Sensing that the momentous event is near, the Pel inside the cavern have been driven into an insane religious fervor and will attack any outsider on sight. The incubator requires massive amounts of power, a problem the Pel have solved by siphoning energy from the nearby focus of air and channeling through an area known as the conduit. Guarding the vital region is a formidable Thundercall Invoker, a powerful Pel warrior infused with latent energy from the conduit. Surrounded by acolytes who channel power from the focus into their master, the Invoker is prepared to unleash his fury upon those who dare to interrupt the ritual. Realizing that the sanctity of Storm Talon's birth might soon be desecrated by interlopers, the Thundercall High Priest has created a massive elemental known as Atheros, and has
User
ordered the
disconnected
creature to
from your
destroy
channel.
any outsiders who attempt to pass through. Atheros is imbued with terrifying destructive power, and has called forth an array of raging whirlwinds to serve as the ceremony's last line of defense. Those who wish to witness the birth of Storm Talon will be forced to survive this deadly tempest, and overcome the fearless elemental guardian who controls it. The birth of a god. Beyond Atheros lies the incubator itself, an ancient Elden device known to the Pel as the Godmaker, originally constructed as a prototype for the mysterious Elden experiment known as the Primeval Protocols. The Godmaker has been maintained through the millennia by the Thundercall Pel, most of who no longer remember its original purpose. Having prepared the chosen acolyte for the ceremony, the Thundercall High Priest will initiate the final phase of the incubation process, infusing the acolyte with massive amounts of primal
User
energy
joined your channel.
and transforming him into a terrifying winged abomination known as Storm Talon. Hungry for death and destruction, the Pel's new god will wreak unparalleled havoc on the outside world if he is not defeated in time.
Very cool. The Prime Evil Protocols. Huh. Any questions? Any cool observations during that?
I do not remember seeing that like heart thing in the walkthrough. I'm gonna have to watch it again.
I
Really?
don't think
That's
they
like the
showed
first
them.
thing I see every time.
Oh, did they show it? In that I linked the res video of the walkthrough they do of Storm Talon.
Awesome, thank you. yeah, if you guys want to link anything related to the topic that we're discussing, feel free. You know, that's what we're here for, just to share information. I'm personally just interested in learning about lore. They've done a pretty solid job so far, so. Alrighty. I think that was the only tab on Storm Talon's lair, so we're good to move on. Alright, so that was the only dungeon that we've talked about. What's up, Papa? Was it directed at you? I'm just kidding. Blank Space, thank you for reading off that last doc. Moving on, characters. So we're gonna start with Meet the Granok. I guess we'll get rid of this and we'll save the best for last.
Yeah, if they don't want to read this crap about the exiles, just go on to the better people, please.
Yeah, guys, we can unanimously vote to skip this. I'm just kidding. We do have to do this, Blank, unfortunately.
Fine.
So it seems like it is linking me to an MMORPG document, and it's almost like an interview between the two. So here's what we can do. Either one of you does the questions and one of us does the answers, or we completely skip this. Papa, you'd like to be the interviewer? Or skip it? Alright, if you guys want to skip it, press 1. If you prefer to read with an interview and answer, press 2. I don't know. Alright, so that's 3. Alright, it looks like it's a unanimous vote to skip it. All you Exile fans out there, I am sorry. I'm going to go ahead and... I will be posting this entire lore thread that Starspun put together, so if you guys are interested in reading it, feel free. Should we go ahead and skip all the characters in that case, and just move on down to the creatures? Alright, if you wish to skip the Orin, press 1.
You want me to break my fucking keyboard?
Okay, so
I want
that's a
you to read
unanimous
it just
one.
because Blank Space once doesn't work.
Alright, the Orin. My ears? I'm just kidding. Meet the Human. Shall we skip? I can only assume so. Designing game lore. Alright, so this is a pretty interesting thing. Personality profile. Style guide dialogue. Now, it's not really lore related. It is lore related, it's just not directly lore. So, do you guys want us to read through this as well? Press 1 if you want to skip it, 2 if you want to read it. Sorry, there's a link. Let me see. I'll go ahead and pop a link on your stream, Blank, as well. If
Wait,
anyone's
is this
watching from there.
just Popalicious? Yeah, go ahead and read it. Why not?
Alright, for Pappy.
For Pappy. It's for him. No, he's not here. Whatever.
Alrighty. Moving. So, Wildstar Wednesday, this was August 29th, 2012. Dang, this is a while ago. So, Papalicious wrote, "Hey, all." Oh, by the way, this is designing game lore. Yeah, I should probably mention that. "Hey, all. As you already know, telling a compelling story is very important to us here at Carbine. When you're creating a whole new universe from scratch, the devil is often in the details, and that means that the narrative design team has been hard at work writing documents which serve as the foundation for almost everything that goes on in our game. This week, we thought we'd give you a look into our lore documents with a little added developer insight at the reasons we write the things we do." Yeah, they fought over whether or not they should do this, and Pappy came out on top. And so, without further ado, we present the character lore of Dorian Walker, the famous exile explorer who discovered the planet Nexus. So it looks like this is actually a whole nother document here with the information about him. Let's go ahead and read this. It is about... I read this a little bit earlier. It is about the guy who discovered Nexus, so let's go ahead and cover that real quick. Dude, he looks like a hard ass. Looks like he's been through quite some stuff. Overview of Dorian Walker. Dorian Walker... Actually, let me get you a link. All of you who didn't, for some reason, see the picture that's right there on the other link I gave you. Okay. Dorian Walker is the famous explorer responsible for discovering planet Nexus. Ooh, big man. Whoop-de-doo. And is considered an almost legendary figure among exiles. Cantankerous, stubborn, and fearless, Dorian has almost limitless sense of adventure, and despite his advanced age, can still be often found in the field exploring the many wonders of Planet Nexus. Apparently, he has stats, so he's a human exile. Boo. He's a male, and his age is 77 years old. Man, this guy's kicking. All right, so we've got a question from Catherine. We'll go ahead and transfer that over. Physical description. Other than badass, they could just, too long didn't read that. Dorian Walker is in great physical shape for a 77-year-old man. Years in cheap spaceships without artificial gravity should have left him frail and killed him long ago, yet he remains hale and hearty, although he has a cybernetic arm and leg as a result of some of the most dangerous adventures. Many attribute his unnatural vigor to the exotic energies of the Elden
User
planet
joined
he
your
discovered
channel.
long ago. Welcome everybody who's joining.
Hey, next.
Hey Lusts.
I found
Currently
my
doing the
hero.
lore read. Alright, we'll discuss that right after this here. History of Dorian Walker. During the exile's long flight through the fringe after the Cassian Civil War, Dorian Walker has become one of their most reliable pathfinders. Pilots who scouted the way light years ahead of the fleet looking for the threats or places to resupply. Having lost his wife to Spacer's Plague, what's Spacer's Plague? Not long after they were married, Dorian has been forced to raise their daughter Belle alone, and despite the hardships of life on the fleet, the two became very close. But Dorian's true obsession was Planet Nexus, the legendary planet of the Elden that has eluded discovery for more than 2,000 years. Alrighty. The legendary planet of Nexus. Now I'm still curious, what's Spacer's Plague? Where'd that come from? How do you get that? And also I want to know, who's this? I understand Belle is the daughter, but what's her role in all of this? Yes, Papa, Spacer's Plague is a space STD.
Yeah. Spacer's Plague is the new Res 6.
There you go. That was that, Doc. Despite him being exile, he's kind of awesome. I didn't say that. Erase that. Delete that from the bloopers. Moving on here. Personality profile. A famously stubborn individual, Walker never compromises or backs down from a challenge. Never afraid to speak his mind, Dorian has always been sure of himself and his beliefs, clearly shown through his dedication to discovering the legendary Elden homeworld, despite the resistance and skepticism of his peers. This overconfidence often gets him into trouble, especially in the dangerous unexplored wilds of Planet Nexus. Alrighty.
Wait, did you do the profile thing?
Did I not read that?
Yeah, I'm just making sure because one thing I wanted to throw out about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
How they speak to the player and other NPCs. So this is going to be somebody you get to talk to. If they make something like that, that means that at some point you get to talk to them, because then down below it tells you like shit that they would say to you.
You mean they're not going to put this much detail into Farmer Joe who's going to ask me to kill 3 pigs?
Hey, you never know, man. There may be, but
it would be interesting though if every single NPC in the game had his own history written up. Dad would have quite a lot to write. Alright, style guide. Dialogue. Dorian Walker's dialogue is that cocky explorer, but one with decades of experience, but no small amount of belief in his own abilities. His speech does not carry as strong a dialect as other exiles, as he spent much time outside the fleet interacting with other cultures. He is often impatient and rude to those who require explanations, and doesn't like people trying to change his mind. Dorian tends to nickname people in a brusque style rather than using their full name. No time for questions, sport. There's some ruins to be explored, not a lot of time to do it. What do you mean, Papa? Old man voice. I can't do an old man voice. And he's not even old. They even say he's like totally...
it's fucking 77, dog. That's old.
77.
Yeah, but he's like all up and at it. He probably sounds like he's 20.
77's the new 20.
Alright, I don't roleplay very well, at least.
Dude, just do an old man's voice, dude. Come on. You made me read shit. Do an old man's voice, you son of a bitch.
Please. Alright, oh god.
Someone record this.
It's already it's on the stream, so.
I actually don't really know how to sound like an old man. I've never been one. Say that,
Back in my day.
I'm too old to be out there. maybe you ought to shut your mouth and do your best to just look stupid. Listen, champ. I got more books and charts than you can shake a stick at. But I tell you, the only real map is the one you carry in your head. That was my best attempt at an old man.
I'm clapping for you by drinking this beer. Congratulations.
Alrighty. Most embarrassing moment of the night. Moving on.
User joined
So
your
that was
channel.
Dorian Walker. I kind of like this character. I'm interested, and I want to know who his daughter is and what her role is. So take note.
His daughter's a Dominion. Put money on it.
You know how cool that would be? That would be really interesting.
Wait, what? So
What if his daughter was a Dominion, like she sided with Dominion
User
for some
joined your
reason?
channel.
my girlfriend, my bitch.
Please. All right, overview. Dorian Walker is the famous, well, we've already gone over this, but Dorian Walker is the famous explorer responsible for discovering planet Nexus and is
Same
considered
thing.
an almost, yeah, it is, isn't it? It's
Yep.
the entire
You're
thing
welcome.
written down.
You're welcome.
Thank you for saving me all that time.
I was
This
gonna
is
let you
just
read
one-
like half of it and then tell you, but
I might have caught on by then. Who knows? This is just one example of the hundreds of documents that Narrative Design has written for Wildstar. Please, please do more. We have similar documents for zones, world groups, factions, cities, dungeons, story philosophies, quest sheets, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure you get the picture. I do. But each and every one of them serve a specific purpose, defining consistent direction for the unique world that you will experience in Wildstar. Alrighty, so that was, let's see, designing game lore, is that correct? Yes, that was designing game lore. So we did skip out on the Granok, Orin, and Human. I can only insist that we skip the Cassian, Draken, and Makari and leave that to individual reading. Unless the whole group decides that I'm being too fair and we should make preferential choices. What do y'all think? 1, if we should skip, and 2, if we should stay. Alright. The only vote is to stay. 2, 3. Alright, I knew this was gonna happen. The people have voted. We're going to talk about... Actually, it really just depends on what kind of document it is.
It's the interview type.
I'm very confused. I'm clicking on the Cassian thing, and it's popping up with Dorian Gray. Or Dorian Walker. Dorian Gray. Wrong universe. Anyway, so I guess we're skipping to Cassian, because that's not the right article. I will note that for Starspun. Okay, next. Meet the Draken. Release the Draken.
If you
Following
hit
up.
official site, it actually goes to it.
Okay, let me try that one. Well, this is another interview, so unless we have somebody who wants to volunteer to be the interviewer and I can do the answers, we'll go ahead and skip it. If you'd like to do the interview, please speak up.
I can do that if you want me to.
I would love for you to do that. Let me go ahead. There you go.
Hello,
Malvolio.
Malvolio. Okay. Hello, Malvolio, isn't it? I'd like to thank you for taking time to speak to me today.
Alright. And no, I'm not doing this in a British accent. Oh, don't mention it. No, seriously. It's my pleasure to be here. I mean, whatever else might someone as important and influential as myself have to do other than sit here and talk to the likes of you? I added that little likes of you part. Ha! I'm mostly joking, of course. Or am I?
I have to admit, you're the first Cassian I've ever met.
Alright. I'll do it with the French accent. At least it'll make up for something. Oh, but some of these words. Sure, but let's talk a little bit more about you. Actually, I have to admit, you're the first Cassian I've ever met. I'm totally reading the wrong thing. Congratulations! You must feel very privileged.
Sure, but let's talk a little bit more about you.
Ah, my favorite subject.
I can see that. What can you tell me about being a Cassian?
Oh, life is challenging when you're a highborn Cassian like myself. Of course, it is undoubtedly very difficult for normal people to comprehend.
Please, do your best to explain.
Very well. Imagine that you're smarter, stronger, and generally more capable than almost everyone who surrounds you. Actually, forgive me. I highly doubt that you're able to imagine it. It is a very unbelievable burden.
I'm pretty sure I get it.
No, wait. Please, let me explain a picture for you. Using simple words, of course. For the moment you're born, there is an exception that you will lead the Empire to its greater destiny. It is that clear.
Crystal.
Really? I'm not sure you're quite seeing it as the way I do. No surprise, of course. Not your fault. You simply don't have the pedigree that I do.
Let's move on. I hear that the Cassians and the Elden have some history.
We must certainly do. The Elden chose my people to establish the Dominion almost 2,000 years ago. I'd say we've more than risen to the challenge. That being said, ruling the galaxy hasn't always been easy, regardless of the fact that we do it to be such an impeccable style.
Given that history, I would assume that you have an interest in Planet Nexus?
Your grasp of the obvious is truly astounding. Of course, I have an interest in the planet Nexus you have freed. It represents the legacy granted to us by the Elden so long ago. Nothing could be of more importance.
Then you must not be too happy about the exiles having discovered it.
I would beg you not to insult me by discussing galactic scum in my presence.
But don't you think they have a right to be there since they found it first?
I'm going to try and ignore the fact that you have asked me such ridiculously stupid questions. What I will say is that when one's house is infested with vermin, one has very little choice but to exterminate those vermin as quickly and thoroughly as possible.
I can see this is upsetting you. Let's change the subject. Tell me more about the Dominion.
What's to tell? It's just your standard. All-powerful interstellar empire has conquered all of the known races in the galaxy. It's quite impressive, you know.
All of the known races? I seem to recall you had some difficulties on planet Nox.
You are really becoming a nuisance.
I just want to get the facts straight. Can you talk to me about the other races in the Empire?
Oh, very well. There's the Drakon of Planet Micros. Savage fellows, to say the least. Difficult to have a dinner party, yes, but there's nothing better when it comes to pure, unadulterated violence.
And then there's those robots.
Ah, yes, you mean the Mechari. Yes, rather serious chaps, being engineered by the Elden and all that. I wouldn't exactly call them personable, but they do have a spectacular job of protecting the Empire. Very good.
Anyone else?
No.
Are you sure? I could have sworn that I saw...
Very sure. Next question.
Okay. How would you describe the Cassian's role in the Dominion?
Well, I don't mean to toot your proverbial horn, but the Dominion would absolutely fall to ruin without the wisdom, intelligence, and exemplary leadership of my people.
Don't you think that maybe you're overstating the importance of the Cassians just a bit?
Let me ask you a question. Does your utter lack of intelligence often embarrass you spectacularly?
I'd say we're done here.
Yes? Good. I think I'll have to go lie down. Alright.
Disconnected.
So that was the Meet the Cassian. I'm happy that's the only one I'll have to do in an accent this evening. Blah. I think the French accent's about the only one I can do somewhat correctly.
I thought that was hilarious.
Cassian, that was the Cassian, right. Official site for the Draken. Let's go ahead and talk about them. I do believe this is another interview. Can we have 2 other volunteers to give me just a little break to get some water? Who would like to do the interview? Who would like to do the answers? Type 1 for interview, 2 for answer, please.
It's fun, guys.
Yeah. I mean, look at it that way. We're just here to, mess around and have fun and learn about lore, so. Alright, so we've got Pilot doing answers. Who would like to do the interview? Unless, of course, our Shal and I would like to do it.
Kef. Kef will.
Kef would. Perfect.
Yep.
Alrighty. Kef, you will be doing the interview, and we've got Pilot doing the answers. Thank you for volunteering.
1 second.
I will be back in just 2 minutes. I'm going to go get something to drink.
Are we doing accents for this as well?
Are you doing an accent for this?
Yeah, if you can, you should.
Russian. I'll do a deep Russian.
Am I the interviewer?
You are questions.
The dragon has to talk with a hiss.
No, they're not lizards.
I'll just do a Russian accent. Should be fine.
Welcome, Mr. Kovor. I'm glad you could take the time to speak with us.
It is just Kuvor. A Draken has no need for useless titles or foolish peasantries.
Sorry. Welcome, Kovor. Can I offer you a drink, some refreshment?
A drink? You offer a Draken hunter a drink? I need nothing to slake my thirst but the blood of my enemies.
I don't seem to have any handy. So what can you tell me about the Draken?
We are the Draken, forged in the fires of planet Mikros. For 1,000 years, we've led the unstoppable war machine of the Dominion military, slaughtering all those who dare face us on the battlefield. We are savage. We are unyielding.
Okay, great answer. My next question is not meant to offend you. I want to stress that. Here goes. The Dominion conquered your world some time ago, yes?
You dare speak such insults? Watch your tongue, or I will tear it out.
But isn't that what happened?
Yes. The Red River War shook the very core of the Macros. Do you doubt such truth of my words?
No, absolutely not. I'm just looking for the facts.
Azrion the Conqueror, Emperor of old, came to Micros and challenged the High Clan Lord Zhur. Zhur was strong, but Azrion was stronger. The Draken swore eternal loyalty to the Emperor, and today we follow his heirs.
Right. So now you're here on Nexus. How have you been keeping yourself busy?
Slaughter! Blood! War!
Do you think you could be a little more specific?
We have come to Nexus to test our mettle. To hunt every last creature on the savage world. To sunder the infernal machines the Elden left behind. And the greatest challenge of all, slaughtering the enemies of the Emperor wherever they may hide.
Enemies of the Emperor, so you mean the exiles?
Of course I mean the exiles. I hate their cowardly creed, but I respect their instincts and their cunning. They are survivors, and survivors make good prey. The Granok are especially worthy, and I have slaughtered many.
Any other choice prey we should know about?
Marauders make good sport. Agile, well-armed, bloodthirsty. The Krogville Darkspur cartel are also worthy foes. They are criminal scum, but they fight like wild beasts. Much like the Draken.
Okay, I think we've covered hunting. What about...
Planet Nexus teams with worthy prey. The mighty Falcon and bird barbarians of the Galeras. The necromantic Moodies of the Darandun. Massive Gorgonoth that can swallow a Draken hunter whole. You have not lived until you hacked your way out of a Gragonoth's gullet.
Right. For my next question...
I have also slain many Skeesh, foul little cave dwellers found on Nexus. Foes like Marauders and Falcon prove a test of skill, but the Skeesh are a test of endurance. Their numbers are many, they are stupid to retreat, and they die by the score.
How do they taste?
Terrible and blue. They are only good for slaughter.
I think I've got it. What might surprise our audience to learn about you?
I have many skills. I do not spend all my time hunting and fighting, I also train. Weapon trainings in the morning, shield and armor in the afternoon, martial tactics in the evening.
Anything else?
I can field dress a mammoth in less than 3 minutes.
A warrior, a hunter, and a butcher. A triple threat.
You make sport of me. I will rip out your heart and feed it to the war pigs.
On that note, I think we're running short on time. Last question, future plans. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where any Draken would expect to be, covered in blood of my enemies. Wielding a gore-stained blade that's gutted 1,000 foes and ruling over everything within my sight as a mighty clan lord.
And I believe it. Well, thank you for your contribution, Kuvor. Good luck out there.
Long live the Emperor!
Okay, that's a wrap. Thanks again, Kuvor.
No, we are not finished.
Sorry?
The time has come. You may have a 5-minute head start.
Head start for what?
The hunt. There's no hunt if there's no chase. The chase burns in the blood of every Draken. You thought I would stand here for your insolent questions without reason? I have studied you, your weakness, your survival instinct, your fear. They are strong. You will make for unusual prey.
Me? I'm a reporter. I have deadlines up. I'm out of shape, and I'd be very stringy.
I thirst for a kill, and I have never stalked a reporter before. Even if the hunt is short, your skull will indeed be a rare trophy.
This is crazy. Please don't do this.
Very well. You have 10 minutes. Now get moving. The stench of cowards is easy to track.
It's the best thing I've ever fucking heard. Thank you.
That was so good. Pilot, you're volunteering more often. And just to say, Kath, you're the best interviewer ever. Oh, man. Those last couple lines were just so good. Alrighty, so that was the Makari. We'll be moving on. Or sorry, that was the Draken, and we'll be moving on to the Makari. We've got, if I do believe, we've got Papa doing Agent Voxine's voice for the interview. Is that right? All right, he's going to be the interviewer. Would anybody like to volunteer to be a Makari this evening? Somebody, please. I would love to hear somebody try to do it. If you've got an accent, no matter what it is, it doesn't even have to match the lore. Let's just hear another accent.
No.
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh,
No.
just volunteered. Alrighty. So we're ready. So we've got that right there.
Oh, I'll freaking do it.
There we go. So we have. I'm gonna help Nix while he figures his stuff out. So the interviewer is Papa, and the answers is Shell. Go ahead and get yourselves into your characters, and
Hold on, I gotta turn off the music.
I don't have a character. I'm just the interviewer. Ha!
well, if you have an accent, feel free to, chug a beer and go for it.
No.
I'm allergic.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. I have to say it was rather difficult to arrange this interview.
I'm certain it was. The Dominion has a strict vetting process when it comes to journalists.
Oh, I'm assuming I passed?
Let's just say that your evaluation is ongoing.
That sounds ominous. So you're a Makari. I didn't realize they made robots quite so shapely.
Rest assured, your reaction is perfectly normal. It merely confirms the effect of an appealing physique on those of diminished intelligence, such as yourself.
Ouch. I probably deserved that. What can you tell me about the Makari?
The Makari are a race of sentient, mechanical beings created by the Elden to serve and protect the Dominion. As the Elden were the most advanced race in galactic history, the elegant complexity of our design makes us uniquely qualified to ensure the Dominion's continued success.
From what I've heard about the Dominion, I'd say you guys have done a pretty good job.
The Dominion has ruled the galaxy for more than 1,600 years and has conquered numerous worlds while doing so. Designating that achievement as pretty good is both grossly inaccurate and acutely insulting. For your own well-being, please refrain from doing that again.
You got it. Given the fact that you're a mechanical being, I'm assuming that you don't have to eat?
Incorrect. Again, like any complex life form, we require an energy source for continued function. Consuming food is also a useful tool for manipulation. Seeing Makari eat gives organics the comforting idea that we are, in some way, like them. A most exploitable illusion.
Do you require regular maintenance?
Despite the perfection of our design, we do require occasional repair and maintenance in order to ensure the highest level of performance. That being said, we do not age in the same frail manner as organics. there are a number of Makari millennials who have lived for more than 2,000 years.
Wow, that's a long time. How old are you?
My exact age is highly classified information. If I were to divulge it, it would be necessary to ensure your permanent silence on the subject. I do not believe you would enjoy that process.
Let's just forget about that question. Tell me about the Elden. Have you ever seen one?
The subject of the Elden is also classified. In fact, the extreme sensitivity of that particular inquiry makes you a candidate for immediate termination. Do you wish to continue?
That's a joke, right?
Would you like to find out?
No. I'm good. Let's move on. What can you tell me about the Dominion?
You have an alarming tendency to ask complicated questions.
Isn't that kind of the reason we're here?
Is it? What exactly is your purpose in trying to obtain information about the Dominion? Answer carefully, as it may determine whether you live or die.
You really don't need to point those lasers at me. I swear I'm just trying to do my job.
My scanners indicate a biometric reading consistent with a truthful response. Very well. I will answer the question. The Dominion is a shining beacon of civilization, spreading order and stability throughout the galaxy. Of course, there are descendant elements, but those will be eliminated in time.
Dissident elements. Are you talking about the exiles?
Indeed. I fear that there will always be those who are foolish enough to resist the Empire. I attribute their actions to the irrationality of organic beings. No matter. They're little more than inconsequential rabble and will soon be efficiently annihilated.
I hear the exiles are also headed to Planet Nexus.
You seem disturbingly well informed. I can neither confirm nor deny your statement, but know this. No one will be allowed to contaminate Planet Nexus or threaten the Dominion's rightful legacy. The ICI will make certain of that.
The ICI?
The Imperial Corps of Intelligence.
Do you work for them? What exactly does the ICI do?
I find your continued probing of classified topics concerning. Let's just say the goal of the ICI is to safeguard the Dominion from all internal and external threats, such as traitors, spies, or highly curious members of the press.
Okay. Perhaps we'd better move on. What's your favorite part about being an agent?
I enjoy asking questions and ensuring I get answers. I guess you could say you and I are in the same line of work.
Yes, I guess you could say that. You know what? I think I've got everything I need. I should really get going now.
Oh, are we done here? Good. Unfortunately, I'll be forced to confiscate all footage of this interview and do not even think of getting up from that chair. Agents, secure the perimeter. I have a few questions of my own.
Say class dismissed, please.
Class dismissed.
I have to go. I gotta go. Bye.
Drop the mic.
Oh, Shell, thank you.
She'll be signing autographs after we're done here.
I'm surprised she didn't do the fucking voiceovers for the game.
That was so fun.
Like I'm here
I
blowing
nosebleed.
off heads and I hear this like womanly voice. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, and you guys make fun of me and call me mama.
Okay.
Shots fired.
All right, I kind of wish we had done the other interviews now.
Medic.
Okay, so that was Meet the Makari. Thank you very much, Shell, and it was Papa. So let's go ahead and move on here. Next. I think we're done with the characters. So next we're going to be talking about the creatures. So we're going to start with Northern Wilds bestiary. Now, before I do move on, does anybody want to backtrack and do the Orin Human and Granok interviews? Because we did end up with, you know, the interviews being a little bit more fun than I expected. So we can backtrack if you want. Press 1 for yes, 2 for no, so we can move on.
I think the interviews are purely fun because of the voice acting.
Yeah, that's what's keeping it interesting for sure. All right, so overall, it seems like the only people who are speaking are the ones who do want to backtrack. What can I do for you, Lusts? One second. Alrighty. Lust, I'm trying to focus, please. Okay, so we've got Wildstar lore links. Let's go ahead and pull up the Granok. Does anybody want to voice a Granok? A Granok? Granok? Granok?
We still got
Roanoke.
Exiles.
A giant talking rock? Does anybody want to do that?
Where is Cat's husband?
Oh my
Can we get Licorice in here?
Where?
I can see. He probably
God.
wouldn't want to do it.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, it's not that he wants to. He has to.
I didn't want to, and I didn't won the internet. So.
No, you definitely wanted to.
He doesn't even have to act. Just read. Just read. That's it.
Yeah.
What is this
I'll
fucking?
text him.
Yeah,
Why don't we
it's not
just play
acting for him.
popcorn?
He's really a Granok.
All right.
Let's
So what
play
we'll do
popcorn, guys.
is, while we wait, we'll do Meet the Orin, and I know Kat wants to voice the Orin, so.
Yep.
So that's Meet the Orin. We've got Kat voicing the answers, and who would like to do the questions?
YOLO, homie, I got you.
Perfect. So we've got Plank Space doing doing the interview, and we'll wait for Kat to get back from texting Licorice.
I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and pull that up and get ready. Feel free to start whenever you're ready, Blank.
All right, Leora. Thanks for talking to me today. Let's jump right in. Can you tell me about your ears?
My ears?
Well, yes. My readers are particularly interested in your ears.
Really? That's your question?
We're all interested.
Sorry, I don't mean to be a negative Nora, but it seems like everyone always wants to talk about my ears. I always catch people looking at them too. It's so rude. I mean, it's like they've never even seen a pair of ears before.
Well, they are breathtaking.
They are? Do you really think so? I mean, I've always thought they were one of my best features, and I do my best to keep them well brushed.
It definitely shows. Are all Orins so well, endowed?
Well, obviously everyone's a little different, but yes, we've all got ears, tails too. Since Arborea is covered in forests, things like ears and tails come in pretty handy. You ever try frolicking on the branches of a tree without a tail? I don't recommend it.
Arborea? Is that the planet you're from?
The one and only. You've never been there? It's the most wonderful place in the whole universe. There are flowers everywhere, and the forests are the most beautiful things you've ever seen. At least they were until,
Go on. Did something happen there?
Yes, something happened there. The Dominion showed up and ruined it all.
Sounds like it makes you pretty angry.
Angry? They make me absolutely furious. They just show up one day without an invitation, and they start killing our forests with great big ugly machines. Some of those trees were personal friends of mine. I don't like thinking bad thoughts about anyone, but sometimes I wish that all of those Dominion bullies would just, well, fall down and die.
I can see this is upsetting you. Let's talk about something else. You're a scientist, right? Why don't you tell me about that?
Well, being an Orin and growing up on Emboria means that I know a lot about nature. And when we joined the Exiles, I thought it made sense to put all that knowledge to good use. So I showed up at the academy with a smile on my face and told them I was ready to get to work and make a difference.
What kind of scientific equipment do you use?
Well, the most important tool for any academy scientist is a scanbot. What a technological wonder! It's like having a cute little robot friend that follows you around and does all the really boring work, like tissue collection and biochemical analysis, leaving you free to do the really fun things like studying ancient alien civilizations. No respectable scientist goes anywhere without it.
Speaking of science, I understand that you recently made a trip to Planet Nexus.
Oh yes, and what an absolutely fascinating place! I was sent there by the Academy to study life forms on the planet's surface. And I saw plants and creatures there that you just wouldn't believe. And then the adventure really started. I really wish I could tell you more about it, but the Academy wants to keep it all hush-hush for now.
Ooh, sounds mysterious. I'm assuming you didn't go alone.
No, there were 3 of us. There was a human explorer named Buck, and a Granok soldier who was supposed to watch out for us, but spent a lot of his time drinking beer.
That sounds like a fun group. What do you think of Buck?
Buck? He's a typical human. He thinks pretty highly of himself and makes sure everyone knows it. I did my best to ignore most of what he had to say.
You don't have a very high opinion of him.
Oh, he's fine, but you know those explorer types. Always going places they shouldn't be and getting the rest of us into trouble.
Now, how about that Granok? Did you two get along?
The Sarge? Oh, sure. He's just a big softy. I mean, he likes to talk tough, but deep down inside, he's really a sensitive guy.
Really? Are you sure we're talking about the same person?
Of course! You just need to get to know him. He tries to make everyone think that he's big, mean mercenary who likes to fight and drink and blow things up. But there's nothing wrong with him that I couldn't fix with a big hug.
Rumor has it you 3 found an ancient Elden temple down on the planet's surface.
You heard about that? That was supposed to be secret. Who told you?
I have my sources.
It was Buck, right? I know it was Buck.
I think we've come to the end of the interview.
Alrighty. That went a lot faster than I hoped it would. Oh, well, that was fun. Thank you very much, Kat, for voicing Liara, the Orin, and Blank Space for interviewing. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I hope you guys are too. Papa, shush.
But everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Oh god, that was perfect. So, Kat, will Licorice be getting on?
He hasn't sent me anything back.
Alrighty. Is there anyone who has a deep, mean voice who wants to voice a Granok for us tonight?
Let me give him a call real fast.
Actually, Lusts, would you like to? Nope. Alrighty.
I'm gonna try calling Iggy.
Oh, it is too late, huh? Alrighty, we'll go ahead and take yeah, how about we take this opportunity to take a 5-minute break, just kind of get water, you know, bio and all that, and when we come back, we'll pick up where we left off. We probably won't go too much longer after the break. It has almost been, well, it's 15 minutes and it'll be 2 hours, so we'll really just see what people want to do. Actually, let me just check something real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty, sorry for the AFK there. What I'm thinking we might actually do, since it is a weeknight, is go ahead and wait to see if we can do the Granok interview. We'll get that one done and maybe call it for the evening. I didn't think we were gonna take quite as much time. Definitely not a bad thing. I'm enjoying myself, but to get through the rest of what we've got left, I mean, there's a lot left to read through. So maybe take a break tonight and pick up in a week, or whenever anyone who's interested in doing this again is interested. You know, just
I like the last 2 interviews idea. Did you read that?
finish the last 2 interviews. Yeah, we can do the last 2 remaining interviews, so the human and the Granok. And then for creatures, secrets, events, features, background, miscellaneous, and all that good stuff, we can push it off to next week or the week after.
Yay.
And I was hoping to get through all of this tonight. Silly me.
Yeah, let's do the
We
human.
didn't expect all of the interview stuff to be ever so lovely.
It was quite entertaining, to say the least.
Let's do the human while we wait for the Granok voice actor extraordinaire.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and link that. We'll do the human interview. Who would like to do the interviewer, and who would like to be the human? I can only ask myself who or what race is the interviewer. So we need 2 volunteers, 1 for interviewer and 2 for answers. Come on. You know you want to. All right, so we've got Pilot doing the interview. Who would like to answer the questions? You don't have to do it in an accent. You can just. It is a human, so it doesn't really matter how he speaks. Even though it would be really funny to hear it with a southern twang.
Hey, it would be a twang.
Man, if I just had another beer, I'd almost consider it. Oh, there you go. There's MMO Papa. He'll do it.
Oh, MMO Papa? There we go. Papa doing the human. So we've got Pilot doing interviewer and MMO Papa on, well, the human. That's fine, Papa. Alrighty, you guys should all have it up. I'm going to link it one more time in case you don't. And let's get started whenever you're ready, Pilot.
So, you're Buck. I have to say, I've been looking forward to talking with you.
Oh yeah, why's that, friend?
Let's just say your reputation precedes you.
I can't say I'm surprised. A guy like me, people tend to tell stories.
Are they true?
I guess that depends on the story and who's telling it.
Fair enough. Let's talk about you, though. Where exactly are you from?
Well, us humans from the fleet ain't really from anywhere. We've been wandering around in the fringe for a long time, looking for a place to set down roots.
So you don't have a homeworld?
Well, technically we came from planet Cassis, but it's been a long time since we left. Seeing how things turned out there, I think we got the better end of the deal.
Cassis. Wait, isn't that a Dominion homeworld?
I don't recommend you say that again.
Ah, right. Moving on. Let's talk about the pistols. Are you always packing?
You bet I am, mister. And they ain't just for decoration. Growing up out on the fringe like I did, you learn pretty quick that your best friends are the kind that you wear on your hip. They're loyal, dependable, and they don't talk your ear off.
Do you find the guns useful in your line of work?
Well, by your line of work, you mean exploring? Then I'd say sure as a headshot, friend. You don't want to be venturing into uncharted territory without a little insurance. And if that insurance is the kind that puts holes in the things, all the better.
What other kinds of tools do explorers use?
That's a pretty big list. But I'd say that the most important piece of equipment for an explorer is something we call the locator.
That sounds pretty interesting. Tell me more about it if you can.
Well, simply put, the locator is kind of like a compass. Except instead of pointing you east, west, north, and south, it points you to things like secret mountain passes, hidden valleys, and subterranean caves. See link. Since those things that explorers are looking for, it turns out to be one of them tools that you can't live without.
Speaking of exploring, I understand that you were recently on Nexus?
Yep.
What can you tell me about it?
I can tell you it's my kind of place, friend. It's a whole planet full of unexplored frontiers, deadly beasts, and a mysterious ancient ruins. You can't take 3 steps down there without something trying to rip you to shreds or blast you out of existence.
That sounds dangerous.
Oh, it's dangerous, all right. A man needs a stiff backbone, steely resolve, and hair. Sorry. And hair. Damn it. And hair triggered reflexes just walk off the ship down there. Good thing I've got all 3 in spades.
You sound pretty sure of yourself, Buck.
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I wasn't, mister.
Why don't you tell me about what happened on your last mission?
It'd be a pleasure. The Explorers Union sent me planet-side to map out an uncharted sector. So I hitched a ride on an Academy research vessel with an RN scientist and a grizzled old Granok soldier. Nexus being Nexus, it didn't take long for things to get interesting.
Do tell.
Well, I ain't exactly supposed to be talking about it, but I think it would be fair to say that my 2 associates got themselves into a heap of trouble. And then I stepped in and saved their bacon. For most people, it would have been quite an adventure, but it's pretty much a regular day for someone like me.
That's not exactly the story I heard. But let's talk about these associates.
Surely. The Granok was about what you'd expect. Armed to the teeth, and he definitely held his own when things got hot and heavy. But just between you and me, he wasn't exactly as sharp as tool in the shed.
Probably best if we keep that to ourselves. And what about this Arn scientist?
Liara? Now, she was a character, no doubt about it. You know the kind. One of them true believers. Circle of life and all that nonsense. You could tell she liked to hear herself talk.
Interesting. Let's move on. Here's a hypothetical situation. You're sitting in a bar, and an intergalactic bounty hunter has a gun aimed at your heart. Would you shoot first?
Do I really need to answer that question?
Suppose not.
Alrighty, I guess that's the end there. I didn't actually notice that it was over again. If only these things were like about an hour longer than they actually are. Alrighty, so we've got one last interview coming up. Thank you, Papa and Pilot, for that. Let's see. So we've got the Granok one. I'm gonna go ahead and link that here in chat. Katarina, any word on Licorice?
He's in channel, dear.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. So we've got Lycurgo.
First, you gotta ask him if he's going to be actually doing it.
Lycurgo, would you do the honor of voicing our Granok this evening for the interview that I just posted in chat? It would be much appreciated by everyone in this channel.
I can't understand why.
Please?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that's a yes. Who would like to do the interview?
I'd do it.
Perfect. So we've got Shell and... I'm going to post it one last time. Pull it up if you don't have the Groundhog interview, and let's get started whenever Shell and Licorice are ready. Let's get started whenever Shell and Licorice are ready.
So, tell me a
Let's
little
get
about
started whenever
yourself.
Shell and...
Me? Not much to tell. Just still working stuff, trying to make his way out there in the big bad galaxy. You know how it is.
And by working, you mean being a mercenary, correct?
I ain't talking about picking flowers.
Why don't you talk about your line of work?
Sure, I mean, basically I get paid to crack skulls. Battles, war, that kind of thing. Anytime, anywhere. Lock and load, baby. Slag 'em, tag 'em, bag 'em.
I see. Basically, you fight for money.
You got it. Cold, hard cash up front. Gotta pay the bill somehow.
What kind of bills do you have to pay? It's not like you got a mortgage.
No, nothing like that. Us Granong, we ain't really got a home. None of us been back to Knox since, well, we ain't been there in a long time, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Knox, is that your homeworld?
Yes.
Can you tell me about what happened there?
I said I didn't want to talk about that. Don't make me say it again.
Understood. So, what do you need money for?
The usual. Fuel, weapons, explosives, and of course beer.
Beer, did you say? Interesting. So you enjoy beer?
Do I enjoy beer? Does an M17 Blaster X Avenger leave a foot-wide exit wound? Yeah, I love beer. Hell, I love beer. Cold beer, beer in a can, beer in a bottle, beer in a 68-gallon keg. It's definitely my favorite food, no doubt about it.
Would it be accurate to say that you enjoy a few beers after each battle?
Absolutely. And I ain't above cracking a few before either. Or during. Nothing like a few beers to take the edge off, you know what I'm saying?
You mentioned weapons before. Let's talk some more about the tools of your trade.
No problem. I mean, obviously I like guns. The bigger, the better. And grenades too. You might say that blowing stuff up is kind of one of my hobbies. Grenades come in handy for that.
And I assume you like swords? You are wearing a rather large one on your back right now.
You mean no blue hair? Oh yeah, I like swords. Nothing like a sword when you just need to get up and close and personal. And blue is about as personal as you can get. Take a look at that edge.
Yeah, sharp. And what is that machine sitting next to you?
There? What's it look like, pal? It's a shield.
Really, I'd say that's quite a unique interpretation of the concept.
You said it. It's a rip saw. Now imagine that a shield, a power saw, and a turbocharged engine got together and had a cranky kid. The rip saw's that kid.
I see. Let's talk about something else. I understand that you recently made a trip to the planet Nexus?
You bet I did.
Well, what can you tell me about it?
Well, I really ain't supposed to talk about it. The brass says it's classified, so I'm supposed to keep my trap shut.
Come on, you can't say anything at all?
Well, I can tell you I was hired to protect a couple exiles who were going planet side for the first time. Exploration and research team. Figured it was a quick way to make a buck.
Exploration and research team? Can you talk about them?
Well, I guess. Explorer was this guy named Buck. Just between you and me, he was kind of annoying. Typical human. Always shooting off his mouth, trying to be funny. Pretty good with a gun, though.
And the researcher?
And she was an RN girl. Pretty much what you'd expect. Bleeding heart type. Always crying about something and getting her feelings hurt. But I gotta admit, when the chips were down, she really kicked some ass.
Seems like you might have a soft spot for her.
You saying I'm soft? I don't like the sound of that.
No, of course not. Do you have any upcoming missions you can talk about?
Well, I ain't got anything official on the books. But we mercs are always getting sent in to fight the Dominion. Those jobs are the best. I just love beating the crap out of those guys.
Sounds like it might be a little bit personal.
Oh, it's personal, all right. The Dominion and the Groundhog go way back.
Really? You want to tell me a little more about it?
I'd love to, but it's happy hour down at the Last Man Standing, and all this interviewing is making me awful thirsty.
I think I got everything I need here. Perhaps it's best we finish up.
That's the smartest thing you said all day.
Alrighty. That was another amazing interview. Thank you, Shell, and thank you, Lycurgo. Or is it Lycurgo? Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing it. Lycurgo, forgive me.
Just call him licorice like I do.
I call him licorice, so I'm just trying to make sure for the stream it's correct.
It's the most manly licorice we've got.
Oh, man. Alrighty, y'all. Well, thank you very much for showing up. I won't lie, this was a lot more fun than I thought it'd be. Really pleasant surprise. What we're gonna do though is we're gonna go ahead and call it for the night. It has been 2 hours. I'll probably be picking up where we left off on the lore. Probably not this weekend, so possibly same time next week. May change depending on my schedule and what people want. What's up, Papa? Yeah, we started with like 2 people. Now we've got like what? At least a dozen people. This is a lot of fun. Thank you very much for showing up.
We're sitting at 21.
Oh, really? That makes me it puts a smile on my face. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully I can dig up some more interviews for next time. And if you'd like to, offer any suggestions for the next time we do this, because honestly, this was planned last minute. It was like 6 o'clock this evening. I was like, I kind of want to go over the lore. Let's invite some people. And this is the kind of stuff that happens. So just a little bit of planning. Who knows what might happen.
Bravo. Good job.
Confetti.
Well,